Okay, so today I am doing a story time on a story that I've wanted to tell for a very long time. I have been wanting to tell this story so bad. So I'm going to do it. I just want to start off by saying everyone in the story that I'm about to tell has fake names. I'm not using the names of anyone besides Christy and Carolina in this story. So back in April, I attended an event called Playlist Live. And while I was at Playlist Live, I got tattooed by Romeo Lacoste. If you haven't seen that video, go check it out. So I got tattooed by Romeo Lacoste. While we were waiting for Romeo Lacoste, we were sitting in the lobby. So we were sitting in... Sorry, there was just really bad lightning. Did you see that? We were sitting in the lobby, obviously where the YouTubers were. So as we were sitting there, a bunch of people were coming up and, through the lobby, whatever, blah, blah, blah. 3 boys walked out and asked us if... 3 boys walked out and asked if we could give them directions to the East Tower. So, of course, we were like, yeah, the East Tower, like, if you go this way, blah, blah, blah. We ended up sitting with them and talking to them, like, introducing ourselves to each other, and they asked us if we were going to the party that night. Playlist has a party for the YouTubers. So we were like, yeah, we're going to the party, and then at that point, Romeo came and got me, and I went upstairs. So Christy and Carolina were still downstairs with the boys. I got done with my tattoo, came back down. They were like, oh my god, we're going to the party, blah, blah, blah. We got all dressed, went to dinner, and Christy was texting one of the boys at the time. We'll call him Colton. So, Christy was telling Colton that we didn't have wristbands for the party. Of course, we had our passes, and we thought that's all we needed, but we never got wristbands. We thought we just needed our passes. So, we were waiting outside, and Colton, we're going to call mine Mike. Colton, Mike, and Dylan, there's 3 of them. Colton, Mike, and Dylan pull up on a golf cart, and are like, oh my god, what are you guys doing out here? Like, come on, let's go in. And we're like, we told you we can't get in. We don't have wristbands. So Mike comes up to me and is like, oh my god, let me see your tattoo, blah, blah. We're talking, and he's like, what do you mean you can't get in? He's like, let's go. And I'm like, we don't have wristbands. So they basically look at each other, and they say, hold on. They go inside. In my head, I'm like, they're not coming back out. They don't care. Why would they really come back out? There's no point. 5 minutes later, we hear, hey. We turn around, and the 3 boys are standing at, this back door type of situation, and they have it open. They're like, let's go. So, obviously, us 3 were like, so we get up, we run over to the door, go in, and there we meet a girl that they're friends with. We're gonna call her Tanya. And she was the sweetest person, right? So, Tanya was so sweet. We're in, the back of the hotel. We're where they keep the bedding and the pillows and weird stuff like that. So we're back there and we literally have a team meeting on how we're about to get into this party. So we're standing there. Mike grabs my hand and I literally thought I was gonna throw up everywhere. He's like, whatever you do, just keep walking. And I'm like, all right. And I knew who Tanya was. I will say that. I knew who she was. I've seen her before. She's pretty known if you ask me. So we get out of this little hallway, and there's 2 checkpoints. There is the first checkpoint for wristbands, and the checkpoint right in front of the door for wristbands. In my head, I'm like, this is never gonna work. So I'm holding on to Mike's right hand. So I'm on the right side of him. All the security was on his left side. So when we walked in, what he did was literally hold his wrist in front of the security guard's face. So they weren't even paying attention to me. And I just walked right in. So he was going like this, and I just bolted in, and I remember getting into the door, turning around, and him grabbing me. You grabbed me too. Christy grabbed me, he grabbed me, and I was like... So we're in the playlist party, and it's super fun, blah, blah, blah. We go to the dance floor, and at this point, no one's with anyone yet. We're still in a big group, just having fun. And then Mike walks over to me and just starts dancing with me, and I'm like... okay. So, and then I look, and Colton is dancing with Christy, and I'm like, okay. He just decides to turn me around and start making out with me. I'm like, oh, okay. Now I am in the middle of a party. That's not me. Like, I don't do that, but I'm going with it. So around like 3-ish, we're like, okay, like, let's go back to the room. Like, also at the party, Mike was like, put your number in my phone in case I lose you. Like, I don't want to lose you. I was like, okay. So we exchanged numbers. So I had his number, he had my number, etc. So we left the party, we go back up to the room, and we went to their room, and we were all hanging out. Me and Mike went out to the balcony. We talked for like hours. Colton comes on the balcony, is like, come on, lovebirds, we want to go to IHOP. And I'm like, okay. This is Playlist Live Orlando, by the way. I just thought I would throw that there. This is Playlist Live Orlando, which was this past April. So we go into Colton's car. We're like packed in there like little sardines. And we drive to IHOP, which is probably like 10 minutes down the street. So we go to IHOP, and we walk into IHOP. There was a lot of other, YouTubers there. This is after the party. A lot of YouTubers went to go eat at IHOP. But there was another table, which included Tanya at this table. We went and we sat like right next to them. Me and Christy were going to get pancakes to share. And Colton goes, well, wait, I don't think Tanya's eating the rest of her pancakes. And we noticed that Tanya seemed like very different from when we saw her earlier that day. Like, she seemed a lot more quiet, a lot more like angry. So he walks over and is like, are you going to finish your pancakes? And she was like, no, I don't even want them anymore. And we were like, what's her problem? So we get the pancakes, and the boys are talking about like why she's mad. And like, we don't understand. I'm like, I don't understand what you're talking about. And Colton says, well, she's obsessed with Mike. So she hates you because you're with Mike. And I was like, so like we eat, blah, blah, blah. We go back in the car. We go back to the hotel, and we go to the room. And Carolina needed something out of our room. And she was like, can you go with me? When we come back to the boys' room, everything has changed. Tanya's in the room. Mike and Dylan are on the balcony. And we walk in, and you see her face drop. She gets up immediately. I don't remember if she says anything. Walks out and slams the door. The boys on the balcony are dying laughing. I'm like, at this point, it's like 6 a.m, maybe later. Like, the sun is rising, okay? So I get in bed. I'm like, I'm going to sleep. Y'all are crazy. And Colton is screaming at me to wake up, flashing the lights, telling me to wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. I was not getting up. Like, I'm sorry. I'm so tired. So I fell asleep. I knocked out like a light. We all woke up around like 1 to the boys' phones blowing up because Mike had to go perform on the main stage at Playlist. He looks at his phone and goes, I'm not going. We were like, you have to go. Like, you have to go perform. He's like, I'm not going. Like, blah, blah, blah. And so then at that point, we were like, we need to go to our room, shower, change. If you're gonna go perform, text me because I want to see. And we'll meet up with you guys later. And around like 4-ish, Christy got a text of Colton saying, come to our room. So we go back to the room, and Mike's sitting on the bed, and he was like smiling, and I was like, what? And he was like, I performed. And I was like, oh my God, like, why didn't you tell me? He was like, well, you being there would have made me more nervous. Aww. Ew. They were going to the Universal event that Playlist has for them. So they had to go, like, get their wristbands and everything like that. We were going home. So it was, like, sad because, like, we all just met. We had, like, such a great weekend. And, like, we had to leave now. We didn't know, like, when we were going to see them next, like, etc. Or if we were even, like, going to talk to them again. And within, like, 10 minutes of being on the road, I got a text, like, I miss you. And I was like, ooh, yes, ah. So I was like, oh, like, he texted me. There was a month until they were coming to Florida again. And so our plan was that we were going to see them when they came to Florida again in a month. We spoke on the phone, FaceTime, texting, every single day of that month. This is just like some proof that me and this kid were obsessed with each other. We would Snapchat literally every single day, text, call, whatever, every single day. So we're talking about Tampa every single day. Like, we were so excited. He's so excited. I'm so excited. So also about 2 weeks before the Tampa tour, or the Tampa show, a new girl was added to the lineup. We're going to call her Oreo, like the Oreo cookie. 'Cause that's what I like to call her. As soon as she was added, he kind of like got more quiet. We still spoke, but not as much. We still Snapchatted, but like not like it was. Like they finished their show and it was that night, right? And it was that night he texted me, "Are you in Tampa?" And I was like, "No, like when should I come?" And about 5 o'clock in the morning, we get in the car to drive 4.5 hours to Tampa, Florida. Because he texted me, "Where are you?" He texted me, "Where are you?" We're almost at Tampa, and it's around 8 something in the morning. And I knew they weren't going to be awake. Like, it's 8 in the morning. I know these boys aren't going to be awake. It's probably like 12-ish, 1-ish. I called Mike, like, twice. She called Colton, like, twice. We were texting them saying, like, we're here, like, hello. Finally, Colton answers. "I'm at hotel." Duh. "Where should we meet you?" "Oh, room 1033. Knock on the door. Colton flings open the door, and we, like, just, like, walk in. Like, it was so weird. And I'm like, "Oh my god, hey, like, I know you missed me." Like, obviously not, because, like, Colton was Christy. We are in the room, and my first question is, "Where's Mike?" And he was like, "I don't know, I haven't spoken to Mike all day." And I'm like, "Oh, okay, like, I'm sure he's probably still sleeping or something, like, whatever." So it was, like, 4:30 when he showed up. I never got a text that he was coming. Colton did. And he comes in the door. Christy opens the door and is like, "Look who it is." And I'm like, oh my god, like, so he comes over and he's like, "Hi, Nicole." I'm like, "Hi, Mike." And he gives me a hug and we sit down. He sits on this, like, couch. I'm sitting on a rolly chair. So he pulls me over on the rolly chair and picks me up, like, scoop, picks me up and, like, puts me on his lap.
I had a man. I was, like, with Colton and we were talking, but after Mike walked in the room, I never felt so forever alone in my entire life. He was, like, telling her how beautiful she looked, like, talking about, like, how perfect, like, her job was, like, her prom dress, like, looking at pictures of her, just, like, giving her so many compliments, and I was like, oh my god, the perfect duo. So just, like, everything that happened after was, like, really confusing.
Okay, so my camera died, and it's, like, a hurricane outside my room. So if you hear, like, huge cracks of lightning and thunder, that's why. So basically, at this point, gets a text. I said it again. I look down, and I see it's from Oreo. I didn't read what it said. I just saw that he had a text from Oreo. He swiped up. He swipes up to make the notification go away. And I'm like... And right after, he goes, "So I gotta go. My manager wants to give me merch money." And Colton's like, "What are you talking about? Like, our manager never gives out money." Really sketchy, like, really weird. And he's like, "When you guys go to dinner, like, don't leave without me. Like, just text me." And he looks at me, he's like, "Text me before you leave." So, like, we stand up, he, like, gives me, like, a big hug and, like, a kiss goodbye. And he's like, "I'll see you later." That is the last time I saw that boy. So Christy comes over to me, and I'm like, something's weird. Like, I saw Oreo texted him, blah, blah, blah. So it's very simple, very easy to go on Twitter and type in someone, especially when they're famous's name. Things come up. It's not rocket science. So we typed in Mike and Oreo. Right away comes up, OMG, I just saw Mike and Oreo crossing the street together. And that was about 10 minutes after he left the room. Not even, like 5 minutes. That boy did not go to his manager to get no money. That boy went with Oreo somewhere. We get ready to go to dinner, and I text him like 3 times. And he answers like, "Oh my god, I was trying to call Colton, but he wasn't answering." So then Colton looks at his phone and is like, "Mike never tried to call me." So
and
we're like,
goes back to sleep.
It goes back to sleep. So we're like, why would he say that he tried to if he didn't? I'm like, okay, well, we're going to dinner. Come back to Colton's room. never answers, never shows up. We probably fall asleep around like 1 something. So we wake up and they're getting ready to leave, and we ended up they let us stay in the room for the rest of the day because we wanted to just, like, we didn't want to go right home. We wanted to, like, maybe go throughout Tampa, and I was giving Mike the opportunity to text me before his flight because that's so messed up. I'm waiting. Finally, like, I know his flight is in 10 minutes, and I've gotten nothing.
We went downstairs to the lobby because we were like, okay, maybe we can accidentally, like, run into him or whatever. When we went down to the lobby, we saw Oreo, and she was sitting, like, with a suitcase. We went to go get food, and when we came back, she was, like, still there, but there was no suitcase. And then we saw on Twitter that, like, Mike had already left. So, like, we just assumed, like, that was his suitcase, and she was waiting for him to, like, leave, and, like, she was gonna say bye to him. But, like, we also saw on Twitter that they were, like, sharing a room. I can't even.
So both of these boys completely dropped off the face of the earth. Like, to us, obviously, not in general. Have not seen them since, don't plan on seeing them. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Bottom line, don't trust anyone in Mike, if you're watching this, which I doubt you're going to, I hope you understand the pain you put me through. I hope you understand.
Just so we know everything, and should have accepted all your damn flaws, okay?
That's pretty much it. That's like the whole story of the time I hung out / hooked up with a YouTuber. I don't even know if you can really call him a YouTuber, but like a social media star, whatever. If you go on my socials, I think you'll be able to figure this out on your own. Match the pieces yourself. Feel free. If you think that Mike is a terrible person, make sure you give this video a thumbs up and subscribe if you want to hear more fun stories. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you all next Wednesday. Bye.
Everything's gonna be alright.